Just making the double check. The map is of course going to be Metalopolis, the MLG version, so no close position. Naniwa is ready, Tarson is ready. So here we go. Let's hope for another LAN game, and hopefully Tarson will be able to get it.
I love
just for a 1-1 score.
I really do. So and of course for the Polish fans,
yeah,
I'm sure they'd love to see Tarson.
Come on guys, that can go louder. Tarson has to hear it. No, I guess not.
They're ignoring you.
Yeah, happens all the time. All right, guys. I guess we're going to have a small break, and then we'll be right back with Map 2 on Metalopolis.
And we are back. 2011 European Battle.net Invitational. Tarson versus Naniwa, game number 2. Up here in the 12 o'clock position, we do have the Polish fan favorite Tarson spawning as the red Terran player, and of course down at 6 o'clock, cross map. The fans love Tarson so much. And of course down here at 6 o'clock we have the blue Protoss player Naniwa, who just looked pretty strong in that first game.
Naniwa always looks pretty strong. By the way, now I was thinking that when was the last time he lost against the Terran? I think he lost against MMA in one of the MLG events, but I mean that's a while ago already. I think it was Columbus, but I could be wrong. Nevertheless, we do see that final completing Chronoboost straight away on the Nexus, so nothing unusual or unorthodox. Right. No 11 gate for Naniwa, just a standard 12 or perhaps even 13, since most likely it is indeed a cross map, and then sometimes Protoss players prefer the economical opening with double Chronoboost. No, 12.
Okay, I have one more question for you about our last game before we really dive into Metalopolis here. Sure. You said that 200 supply Protoss army probably a little bit stronger than a 200 supply Terran army. So does that not put Tarson in a situation where he has to go attack before Protoss can max out?
Well, eventually, but on the other end, I mean, you shouldn't forget, I mean, Terran can just macro too. You can have a lot of barracks, and after a while, I mean, sure, Protoss can wipe in a lot of units, but if you can actually defend that, I mean, you do have planetary fortresses now and then, and since he's not mining from the bases within Orbiter anymore, that should give him enough time to remax. And when a Terran is actually in a better economical position, then I wouldn't say you necessarily have to attack. Even though the fight might go slightly better than Protoss, it's not like 200 supply Protoss loses like 10 supply against a maxed out Terran army. I mean, Naniwa is going to take some significant losses as well. Oh, don't start with me, man.
All right, so we do see 1 Rax, 1 gas here from Tarson, so a little bit of a tech inclination. I kind of wonder if it's going to be a factor of a tech lab. Just by looking at the gas, I feel like he's going to throw it on that tech lab. And Naniwa also with the second gas starting now for Naniwa. So what do you think?
Yeah, very different opening for Tarson, but that makes sense. This is not really a map where you favor that no gas fast expand, because certainly if the first Stalker comes, even though if you have 1 bunker, there's still going to be a weak spot somewhere, and then your Marines are going to take a lot of damage. So that's not a very common strategy on this map. So standard opening for Tarson, well, that's a fast factory. Perhaps a Banshee opening, but anything is hard to say right now. We do see that second refinery going down
too. Starting to feel a little bit like Banshee.
Yep. I mean, Banshee is always a solid opening, doesn't necessarily have to be 1 base. Is not anyone mining from 2 probes? Yes, he is. I wonder if that's on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. Naniwa, not the kind of guy that makes slip-ups like that often, and he's definitely going to be, I mean, this is the stage in the game where you're staring at your base constantly, so he would notice, certainly he would notice that. So maybe he's got some sort of really well-calculated build planned out for us here. Stalker popping out to clean up that scouting SCV, and now, once this SCV gets cleared off, we'll see if Naniwa's strategy opens up, or his build, pulling guys off of gas, so Naniwa going to 4-gate.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say so. He might just go for a faster expand, but he doesn't need that much gas early on. So actually, it might as well be a 1-gate expand build. Meanwhile, we do see that starport going up for Tarson already. I don't think that necessarily has to be a 4-gate. No, there we go.
Yeah, you're right. He is going to drop down there. I'm a noob, so
it's okay, man. I forgive you. So yeah, we see that starport going up. Tech lab already being added at the factory. Tarson has a significant amount of gas, but I wouldn't necessarily say the amount that he needs for Cloak Banshee. You don't really necessarily need Cloak Banshee either. I mean, Banshee is always going to do that. No bunker. Once again, of course, he has the high ground advantage, but I still think this is risky, because if you face a player who likes to get 2 stalkers out really quickly, you're going to get in a difficult spot.
Yeah, it gets tricky. It gets tricky. One can spot, the other can shoot up, and they do a lot of damage against those Marines fairly quickly. But, oh, look at that. Cloaking has started for Tarson. And I don't see any robo anywhere in sight for Naniwa.
But Naniwa's going to build it as soon as possible. I mean, every Protoss player knows approximately when the Cloak Banshees could potentially arrive. He just wants to make sure he doesn't build the robo too early. Good job right there by Naniwa. That's a standard Protoss play. Protoss plays nowadays, I mean, in the old days we weren't sure, like, we have to play gateways or robo, Terran is so imbalanced, but nowadays it's actually like the matchup evolved so much. Protoss knows when you need those observers.
Terran throwing down another Rax and another add-on as well, so it looks like, Tarson It doesn't look like he wants to expand. He's going to one-base it here.
Yeah, that's very possible. Certainly when you open up Cloak Banshee, you know you're always going to do some damage. That's inevitable. I mean, as Protoss, no matter how good you defend, you're always going to lose a couple of probes. I mean, if you lose more than 5 or 6, I guess you're doing something wrong, or the Terran's doing something right. But a couple of probes will always fall. Even though this is not the worst map, as you can see, you don't really have a lot of room over here for the Banshees. So that means that if a Banshee comes over here and there is an observer, it's going to have to fly all the way over here. That means that the Stalkers can trace it, which make it a little bit tricky. This is not necessarily the best Banshee map.
Yeah, and a Stalker's faster than a Banshee, isn't it?
Yes, slightly. 2.91 against 2.75.
Roddy just rattles it off.
Oh, 2.95. No.
Almost right. Almost right. So that first Banshee is on its way down to the natural expansion of Naniwa. I feel like if Tarson's going to do damage, he needs to do it soon, as Naniwa's been mining on this expo for a little while, and he's about to start really reaping the rewards.
The observer is not out yet, though, so this Banshee is actually going to have free reign for at least a little bit. This observer gets actually sent it back. So good job right there by Naniwa. He can be happy that that observer wasn't in the middle of the map yet. But ooh, this Banshee is going to be in a difficult spot right now. Good job right there by Naniwa, having units in the main base as well. The observer is going to try to keep track on this Banshee, but no, the observer is not fast enough. So Tarson keeps his Banshee alive. Good job right there by Tarson.
Now meanwhile, back in the main base of Tarson, he's just been macroing up a little bit of an army. Oh, look at that Banshee out in the middle of the map, chasing that Stalker back home. But
I still think this is decent for Naniwa, though. I mean, he lost three probes, and he does know exactly what Tarson is going to do, and losing 3 probes against Cloak Banshee, well, that's something you can come home with. I mean, that's not too bad. Cloak is such a big investment, 200, 200. You need to kill more than 3 probes. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter how many probes Tarson kills. If you go for this big one-base play, it's always tough for Protoss to expand.
I would really like to see Tarson add a Raven to that. Point defense drone could really make that push a lot scary, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Wow, even pulling off SCVs, so Tarson is going to be coming with a very, very aggressive push. Naniwa is going to see... yeah, he sees the push, leaving his base, and he even sees the SCV, so Naniwa knows exactly what's up. He's going to be warping in just pure units right now.
A lot of Stalkers on the field for Naniwa, so barely any Zealots. Surprised by that, Chrono boosting his gateways like a madman. This is going to get so close, Mr. Beta. I have no idea how this is going to end.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Is there only that one observer out on the map? He's got to be really careful.
Yeah, if it gets scanned. Now we have 2 observers.
Second observer is out as well.
Yep. 3 actually, so that should be good. But yeah, this is very dangerous. Often you'll see a Terran scanning, and right now I love how Naniwa is trying to make the fight start way outside of the base. Good job right there. He snipes. No, he doesn't snipe on siege tank, and he takes a lot of damage. Very good engagement so far for Tarson.
Yes, indeed. So Naniwa, he's decided finally that he's going to back off. It's really fortunate for Tarson that tank stayed alive. Immortal is out. This is going to be so close. Marines with a bad rally. They're going to walk up and get picked off. The fight's starting to materialize. Pretty good force fields there. Oh, great force fields. They're going to pick up a lot of Marines. Naniwa doing huge amounts of damage to Tarson's army.
Yeah, excellent. And I love how Naniwa is not activating Guardian Shield before the real fight starts. That's such an excellent decision. That means that he's going to have energy in the end when actually Tarson is really moving in. Nani so far has been doing an excellent job at stalling this push. Tarson right now is going for siege, and I don't think this is the right decision.
He's either forgotten siege mode or he's decided that he needs to add it here a little bit too late. I feel like Tarson, he's taking so much time. He's giving Naniwa so much time. Naniwa adding gateways. He's got the big harvester lead. He's got the 2 bases, and he's just pumping out so many units now.
This is so good for Naniwa right now, even though he's taking a little bit of damage for his on his Stalkers now and then. I really don't understand why Tarson is waiting for siege. I really don't think he necessarily forgot about it. I mean, these pushes are very common without siege, and they're very strong as well. Tarson is going for it now, nevertheless. No.
Yeah, 2 Banshees, or is it 3 in the mix? And more
3
Banshees being produced, man. Tarson he's got an absolutely scary army with all those SCVs on auto repair, but he doesn't seem ready to commit to it. He really wants to wait till siege finishes.
Finally, a couple of Zealots right now, but 3 Immortals already for Naniwa. That's insane. If Naniwa is going to focus the tanks correctly, once again gets a couple of shots off on these Banshees. Nani is just doing such a good time at stalling. While before Tarson's real armor was so much better. Scan goes there. He takes down 1 observer, but there are more observers. I hope Tarson won't overcommit right now. I'm not sure where the other observers are, though.
Yeah, Naniwa is only producing Immortals right now. I'm not sure he knows where the observers are. If those Banshees cloak and run up, I feel like they could do some damage. Now siege mode is done.
Guardian Shield being activated. Naniwa might just go for it.
Oh, Naniwa is going to commit to this. Zealots are running, and they're doing a lot of damage to him. A lot of that tank fire. The Banshees are not cloaked, which I feel like is a little bit of a mistake from Tarson. And wow, the army of Naniwa just crushing through the Terran force.
Now cloak is activated. There come the observers as well, but Tarson has almost nothing left on the ground. Naniwa doing this phenomenally, killing all the SCVs, killing all the Marines as well. Now Lonely Hellion joined in the fun, but look at the amount of units that Naniwa has left.
Wow, GG, well played. Naniwa 2-0.